Hello and welcome to today's very interesting one episode, which is related to one very interesting sector, that is power sector. We all know that this sector is in very much discussion these days. Lots of discussions are going all around regarding this power sector. Renewable energies are very much in focus, and we investors are intended to have a few companies, a few stocks in their portfolio. Correct. So for that, like the if we have a look at the list, then this list is really hefty. The list of companies which is lucidly available everywhere, that list is quite hefty, and we have to choose two, three companies for our portfolio, two, three best companies for our portfolio, right? Now, the problem is selecting two, three out of those hefty list is very difficult. Why? Because this data, why we, whenever we need to choose two, three out of a hefty list, we will rely upon comparative study, right? Comparative study, relative valuation. So we will make a comparison of based on certain parameters. Those are some return ratios, some valuation ratios. The problem is in relative valuation, the problem is the selection of the stock as peers. So for that, let me take you into my screen first. So I will show you how this is the list I have tried to search in the money control. Power stocks, money control, power stocks. List of power stocks listed on NSE BSE. Just have a look at it. This is the power stock list in money control. NTPC Power Grid, Adani Power, JSW Energy, Tata Power, Torrent Power, uh, Inox Wind, so many companies, NHPC, JP Power. So many companies are there. Now the problem is, can we compare these companies? Will it be a correct approach to compare these companies? Now let me take you to the screen of uh, screener. Here what is visible, that this is the power generation and distribution companies. You can easily eliminate those distribution companies, but as far as power generation companies are concerned, again it's not correct approach if we compare these companies, because these are not homogeneous in nature. These list of stocks which are getting displayed are not homogeneous in nature. Try to understand, whenever power companies comes into play, there are one power generation company, then there are EPC companies, means who are into engineering companies, like who are erecting projects, installing your capacities, your facilities. So those are EPC companies. Some are in operation and maintenance of power projects. So EPC and operation and maintenance can be taken together. Means these are somewhat similar. But power generation is not at all similar. Power generation, again in power generation, thermal power is there, renewable power is there. So comparing a thermal power generator with a renewable power generator will not be at all correct. Within thermal, there are still further segmentation. Some are coal based, some are lignite based, some are diesel based, some are, let's say, gas based. So there are various thermal power companies. And in the renewable segment, wind power is there, wind power, solar power, hybrids are there. So again, comparing thermal, renewable, hydroelectricity, they have different business model, different operational efficiency. So comparing them will not be correct if you are comparing all together. So to get the correct picture, let's say we are targeting solar companies. So for that, you must not compare solar companies, pure solar company with someone who is into thermal power generation, right? So the comparison must be peer to peer. So I have prepared a list. This list is basically uh, I'll come to this later, where I made a comparison of capacities and contribution of the capacities, their revenue, segment revenue, all those stuffs. And before going to this, I just wanted to show you this sectoral thing. I made a small list here who are not power generation company, but somewhere around power generation companies. So the first name which is visible, like I made it homogeneously colored for ease of understanding. So first company which is visible, that is Borosil Renewables. What this company does? Whenever the solar panel comes into focus, solar power projects come into focus, then this Borosil Renewable comes in front of us. What this company does? This is basically a solar glass manufacturer. They are flat glass manufacturer. This flat glass manufacturing, what the Borosil Renewable does, that who finds application in the solar photovoltaic cell manufacturing, in solar module manufacturing. So Borosil Renewable is very, very different than our traditional power generation companies, from EPC companies, means I'm referring energy EPC companies, power EPC companies, from operation and maintenance companies. They're very much different. But I like after this, I'm going to discuss those companies who are in the similar value chain with the Borosil Renewables. What are those companies? Here, three companies are visible. Insolation Energy, I can make it little big. Yes, now font is relatively big. I hope that it is clearly visible. So three companies, see, Insolation Energy, Wipsol Energy, and Vary Energies. Vary has various listing. I will come to that separately. So Winsol Energy is basically Insol Energy and Wipsol Energy and Vary Energies. All of these companies are solar panel, photovoltaic cell and module manufacturers. Okay, these three companies are in the similar line of business. That's why I say Borosil Renewables is very like in the similar value chain, or let's say higher in the value chain with this Insolation Energy, Wavesol Energy, and Vary Energy, because they are the solar panel and PV module manufacturer. And for manufacturing these solar panels and photovoltaic cells, you need that flat glasses for solar energies, right? So which is manufactured by Borosil. So both of these companies are in the similar value chain. So that's why, like, we can treat these company in the similar value chain and closely have a look at it. Because if any demand uh, arises or demand falls from this Insolation Energy, Wipsol Energy, Wave, Vary Energies, then impact comes to Borosil Renewables, because it's all about demand and supply. Now let's say another one type of company you will get, those are Inox Green Energy, which is basically operation and maintenance of wind power projects. But there are another few companies, they are also into the wind operation and maintenance of wind power projects. I'm coming to that. Uh, Two companies who are very, very similar. One is Inox Wind and another one is Suzlon Energy. We all know the old story of Suzlon Energy. They are basically the wind energy turbine manufacturer, right? But along with that, they are also manufacturing wind power sorry, they are also manufacturing components. They're also erecting projects for wind power, to wind power installation companies. So they are, we can say, they are the EPC company of wind power, the Suzlon Energy. They're also into operation and maintenance of wind power. So Suzlon Energy and Inox Wind are exactly in the same business. And as far as Inox Green Energy is concerned, they are into only into operation and maintenance of wind power projects. Next comes solar uh, EPC companies. So Starling and Wilson's Solar, which is basically Sapurji and Palanji Group company, and Very Renewable Tech. These companies are solar EPC companies, as well as they are into operation and maintenance of solar power projects. Apart from that, there is a company called KPI Green Energy. They are basically a combination of solar EPC business as well as power generation. They have solar power cap. They have their own solar power as well as they are doing solar EPC business. And along with that, uh, I was referring about the Very group. They have various listing. Very Energies, which is solar module and cell manufacturer. Very Renewables, which is basically into solar EPC operation and maintenance. And Very Technology, which is not at all in this particular business. They are also into energy. They're into lithium-ion battery assembling and trading. So they are not cell manufacturer. They are into lithium-ion battery assembly and trading. So these are the homogeneous list we can compare for getting correct way, or let's say for getting the correct result or desired result. Next, I'm going to show you, or let's say I'm going to compare the power generation companies, between the power generation companies. The In the power generation companies, I have covered so far, as of now, I have covered this much of stocks. So I'm going in the process of covering all the companies in the list. Once it will be done, I'll be putting it into my website. So interested investors can have a look over there. They can go and access the data for any for investment decisions. So this Gujarat Industrial Power, basically, they have a capacity of total 1184 megawatt. So I'm not separately mentioning all the capacities. If anyone is intended to work with this particular data, they can take the snap and can work on it. What I'm going to intended to tell you, that is what is the contribution of each of the sector in terms of its capacity, and wherever the revenue contribution is available, that also I'll be discussing. So for Gujarat Industrial Power, 64% of its uh, capacity is thermal, 25% is solar, and 11% is wind. But whenever revenue comes into play, we look at the revenue breakup, then thermal power contributes 80%. Just have a look. This thermal capacity contributes 64%, but thermal power contributes 80% to the revenue. So 64% of the capacity contributes 80% of the revenue. It means thermal power always has higher efficiency than solar and wind. So renewable contributes 20% to the uh, top line of Gujarat Industrial Power, and they don't give breakup of revenue between solar and wind. So altogether, it's renewable. Next one is KPI Green. I was referring, this is a company which is into the solar EPC business. Parallelly, they have their own solar capacity. They have 588 megawatt of total capacity, out of which 507, the larger 86% of their capacity is solar, and 14%, that is 81 megawatt, is hybrid. So hybrid means again solar and wind hybrid. And they don't give the revenue breakup. Next one is Adani Green. This is one of the top three capacities power capacities in my list. So Adani Green has 11,184 megawatt of total capacity. Out of 66% is solar, 15% is wind, and 19% is hybrid. So next one is Acme Solar Holdings. The entire capacity is solar. 100% is solar. Next one is JSW Energy. Very interesting. This is one of the biggest. 15,670 megawatt is the capacity of this particular company. So this company has 25% of thermal power, 22% is solar power, 30% is uh, wind power, 13% is hybrid, and 10% is hydroelectricity in terms of its capacity. And as far as its segment revenue is concerned, 59% of the revenue comes from the thermal segment. So just have a look. 25% of the capacity contributes 59% of the revenue. Just think about the efficiency of the thermal capacities. 40% comes from this uh, renewable segment, which is how much? Which is 75% in terms of capacity. Next is NTPC Green. NTPC Green is having a capacity of 3,320 megawatt. So 97% of their capacity is solar only, 3% very nominal solar is wind. NLC India, we know this is the earlier Neville lignite. So erstwhile Neville lignite. So their thermal capacity is 76%. Total capacity is 6,071 megawatt. Among 76% is thermal, 23% is solar, and 1% is wind. Tata Power, another one very big company. So total capacity is 15,109 megawatt. 59% of the capacity is thermal, 29% is solar, 7% is wind, and 6% is hydroelectricity. So as far as revenue breakup is concerned, 30% of the total capacity is total revenue, 30% of the total revenue goes to thermal and hydro together, 15% goes to renewable, and the rest 55% from transmission and distribution. Please note, Tata Power has larger contribution from larger revenue segment is thermal, transmission and distribution for Tata Power. JP Power, we know that's a hydroelectricity company. So total capacity is 2,220 megawatt. 100% is wind power. They have some coal mine as well. So next company is Energy Development Company. So 40 megawatt, very small capacity. 40 megawatt is the total capacity out of 37. That is 93% is hydroelectricity. And okay, so 93% is hydroelectricity, and 82% of the revenue comes from hydroelectricity, and 18% comes from wind energy. And here, 93% of the revenue comes from hydroelectricity, and 7% comes from wind, right? So this is the list. I hope that this information, this input was helpful for all of you. So I'm going to extend this particular list within very short while and will be uploaded in my website. My website is like there are various data points which are going to be very helpful for all of the investors and analysts. So my website is live, that is phenomics.in. But at this point in time, some work is going on over there. You will get the website. You can visit my website, but data like mostly is not visible because the data part we are doing some changes, and that's why it is not fully visible, means 90% is not visible at this point in time. Once everything will be done, means this entire data will be uploaded. I'm going to bring it back live in very short span of time, and all these data will be uploaded, and I will keep on intimating you through my YouTube videos. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I expect a like for my effort for uh, working on this particular data set and displaying it to you. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and uh, will come before in front of you with another very interesting episode. For that, uh, I request all of my viewers to subscribe my channel, and need your support and motivation for making good videos. Thank you so much, uh, and have a very good 2025 ahead for all of you. Thanks for your support, and goodbye in this particular video. Let's meet in another very interesting episode. For the moment,